Hello. Welcome everyone to the next lecture of data analytics using Excel. I am Dhruv. I will be a tutor for the day. By the end of this lecture, you will actually be able to edit all the charts that we have created in the past lecture. So make sure you have actually created all the charts in the dashboard that we were building on our last lecture, so that then you will be able to work around with me. So let's just dive into it. So as you can see my screen right now, the first thing that I can understand from all of these charts is that some of these charts are actually having grid lines and some of the graphs are not having any grid lines. Okay, one might have a doubt of what are the grid lines. These lines which are in the background are known as grid lines, which I do not want for all of the charts. I really want a very clean chart for myself, and that's why I'll actually have to change that a little. I'll actually click on this plus icon, and then I can delete the grid lines icon from here directly, right? The second thing which I might want to do is, let's see what will happen if I'm actually going to, I'm not selecting, but what will happen if I'm actually going to write on excess titles, right? Now it will take a lot of space from my right and left only, but I can directly understand that on the y-axis I have the returns, and on the x-axis I actually have the timeline, that is like all the years together. Although if I really want, I can actually write the data tables, but you can see again, my entire chart looks very cluttered right now. I do not even want to look at it. Let's just get rid of it as soon as possible. You can create a data table as well if you really want to, but I suggest to not go ahead with any of such ideas, right? Now I will not select any of these, but I will actually write chart titles directly. So if I'm actually clicking on chart title, I really want to understand what this chart is all about. What are the returns that, whatever information is being shown to me right now, there should be a title that guides me that, okay, if you're going to look at this chart, this is the information which is being summarized, and now you can understand. So I'll click here and I will actually delete the entire chart title. You can double click and do the same, and I'm going to write returns over the period, and now it looks more let's say understandable. I can just directly look at it and I can understand that, okay, stock A, stock B, stock C, these are the returns that I have received over the period. It's very clear to me right now. For the same, let's just try to understand what all we can do using chart styles. So whatever we actually saw in our insert column, recommended charts, and then all the charts in column, these are not the only chart types that we can have. We can even add something and then give a style to the particular chart that we have. So it might happen that our visualization looks even better. So this is style one that I've selected. All you have to do is actually hover over all of them, and you will be able to get a gist of which one will exactly be more beautiful for your entire, let's say, dashboard. But make sure whatever style you're following for one graph, the same style is being followed for all the graphs. You can see majorly this graph will be followed in most of the normal cases, or this graph is also, this style, not graph, this style is also majorly used in most of the cases as well, right? You can explore which one you really like to work on with. I will also explore and check if there's anything that I really want to work around with. This is very bad, and then I have these. This might look good based on where I'm actually adding my information, and I think this looks a lot better and cleaner, so I might just take this one for our example, right? The first chart is there in front of me. The other thing is actually chart filters. So if I really don't want to actually add the last 5 years of data, I can just deselect all of that information, click on apply, and now you can see my graph changed even though I've selected all the information, right? So you might really want to add information based on whatever you feel like, or you might want to delete some of the information of the last, let's say, the first 5 or 7 years, whatever you feel necessary to analyze. So you can do that as well, and you can always go ahead with the name, and you can check where your entire data set is, and then you can work on with the same. For this particular lecture, filters will not work a lot, so the same thing will be there, although I would like the data labels to be there with my entire pie chart. Although if I can see 100, 100 and 100, it is just being displayed on the chart, and for the 100 which is on the green, that is stock B, it is not really good, and I might want to delete it. So I will actually click on this action, then I can see what all I can have. I can have a show, I can have a data call out, or I can even go with more options. Some of the options I can select from here, but I really like to go around and actually go with data call out. And now you can see, I can see that in the beginning of the entire year, the entire structure was divided to 33, 33, 33, 33 percentage, right? And let's just do the same for this graph and see how it will look like. I'll actually do this and go with data call out. And now I can see from 33%, my stock A has taken over to 63% of the entire portfolio if we only had 3 stocks in the portfolio, of course, right? And now the other thing which you might want to notice is the style, right? Let's just see if the same style is available to us, and it is, and we can create the same style here. Let's just give the same style to our pie charts as well. Let's see if we have the same style and give it to this, right? And then I can always delete this and write initial portfolio, right? And then I can also click here and I can write final portfolio. Right. Before I actually start working with all of them, I would like to add the same style to all of the graphs, right? So if I'm going to go here and then styles, this looks similar, but let's see if we can have something else. I think this one will be better. Let's check the comparison between both. I think the later one looks more professional, so I'll keep it that way. And let's just try to give a particular style to this one as well. Now our dashboards looks much more eye appealing, and I can actually understand what exactly is happening. Although I actually have to write a couple of things in my as titles of all of these charts, right? So I'll actually not write for these two. These two will be homework for you, but I can write for a chart title of this one. It would be let's say the portfolio movement across the years. So I'll edit that. Portfolio movement, right? So now what I would like to do is actually remove the grid lines from here, so it looks even better and cleaner. I've deleted that. Although right now you can see that, okay, this particular dashboard looks good. You can actually take a particular screenshot or share the file with someone. Sometimes you actually try, have to work around with even more, let's say, types, and you can change the colors that you really want to display. So let's say you want to change the color grid to this one, or whatever seems fine for you, you can actually go ahead with that. For me, I would actually choose the first one, but this is one thing which you can work around when you are actually creating charts as well. Other thing is, let's say whenever you're actually clicking on any particular chart, let's see what will happen if I'm not selecting, and look at the task which will come here when you will select something. Chart design, again, if you really want to, let's say, shade the entire thing in a particular way, you can have that. Although I would like it to be really colorful the way it is right now. And for this one also, let's say, like to see if I can actually have these gradations there. Yep. So when we have categorical value, then it won't work, as well. So let's just try to work with format. So if you actually have to increase the width and space, you have to bring something forward and something like that, you can work around with that. If you actually really want to change the way every data point is being displayed, you can go ahead and do that. Another thing is, these figures which you can create over the chart like that, if you really want to, because it might happen and it will always be confined in the space of the chart itself, and it will not go beyond. And you can actually write a particular text over this. So let's say I'm clicking here and writing a particular point here. You can actually start writing whatever you want over this as an interpretation. So what you might want to do is actually increase the space and maybe make sure it's aligned here, and then somewhere here you are writing the interpretation. If you really want to, I can change this as well, right? So you can do that, but I don't really want to do that for now. I'll actually go ahead and see just the way my entire chart was, right? Another thing is actually double clicking here so that you can see much more options, right? And you can work around with these by yourself. That would be it for this particular lecture. We will not be working more. Now our entire dashboard looks way cleaner and way better. In the next one, we'll actually look forward to how we can create a better dashboard, which is more eye appealing, which is even more dynamic to create, and it will actually have more functionality when it comes to sharing the dashboard with someone else. That would be it for my lecture. If you have any doubts, you can always contact me. I will love to help all of you. Thank you for joining.